T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Boom. Good evening, lovely people. It is Monday, the 20th of September, and we're back with another Monday night live show for you. First and foremost, people, before we get into the video, you know I'm going to ask you to do. I shouldn't even have to ask you guys to do it, but I'm still having to ask you guys to do it. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and make sure you interact in the chat. But make sure you do it in a polite way. No abuse, none of that. Opinions are all welcome. Abuse is not. Matt Drift, how you guys doing today?
All right, bro.
Blessed, man.
Not too
Want to
bad.
big up
not too
everyone.
bad.
Big up everyone for giving the video a like from the match reaction on the weekend. Video did really well, so big up everyone who gave that one a like. It's not hard, but guys, see, just smash the like button. It's real easy. Just give it that thumbs up.
Touch your button now. I know where you're come from. No, all jokes aside. No, as Drifty said, I really appreciate when you guys smash that like button. It's free to do it. Doesn't take more than a second, but it massively helps the channels to grow. And look, you guys are part of the community. If we grow, we are able to give you guys more content and bring you more stuff. So it benefits everyone, people. It benefits everyone. But look, people, got a good few things to get through in this particular show. We're going to speak about the injury situation at Liverpool at the moment. Mo Salah's Premiership greatness sort of status at the moment. Klopp's rotation policy so far and how it sort of mirrors past seasons. Mane's best goals since he managed to hit his 100th career goal for Liverpool. The importance of all the different competitions that were in this season. And then we'll finish off by telling you what we have for the rest of the week. So a good amount of things to get through today, people. But we are going to start with obviously the most annoying situation when it comes to Liverpool Football Club, especially in the last sort of year to 18 months. And that is injuries. Now, as things stand, we have Roberto Firmino out injured. We have Harvey Elliott out injured. Thiago picked up an injury at the weekend. Nico Williams and Trent was ill. However, there's talks he may have a slight injury as well. Now, going into the season, many of us were very fearful of the situation and the injury situation from especially last season, but going forward, what could happen this season as well. Given the start of the season, and the names I've mentioned to you. So, Drift, I'll start with you because me and Match touched on this slightly earlier. The names are Nico, someone who you wouldn't consider to be injury prone. Yeah? Thiago, again, not a player you'd consider to be injury prone. I know he was out for a while last season, but that was because of a horrific challenge.
Yeah.
Firmino, again, wouldn't consider to be injury prone.
No.
Harvey Elliott, again, wouldn't consider to be injury prone.
No.
And then Trent again picked up a few injuries last season, but again, not a player you'd consider to be injury prone. So while players such as Naby, Ox, Matip aren't injured, touch wood, and those are the players that most of us feared for at the beginning of the season, are we getting a bit nervy now so early into the season that we're starting to see a few injuries happen to players who are seen to be more robust than not?
Pardon me. I'm trying to think of the nature of all the injuries. So Firmino's was a hamstring. I guess that can happen at any time. Thiago's was an innocuous fall after making a tackle. We all know how Elliott's happened. they're kind of all impacty type of injuries, which means they can happen to anyone at any time, kind of thing, if you get what I mean. Um, I think we're just nervy because of what happened last year. Like last year is really, that saying once bitten, twice shy. I feel like that's what we are now. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody feels like anything can happen to them, and then it happens, and you think, oh shit, it can happen to me. Do you get what I mean? Um, I'm just I'm just trying to look at it from a point of view of, can we fight for all the competition that like that we're in, while keeping a rotation, while keeping the team strong enough through the rotation, while making sure that we don't mix and match too much. That because I think what a lot of our problems was in the cup games we've played in previously, I don't actually think the team that played was bad. I think they didn't have any cohesion because they were always so mix up. And people underestimate that 8 changes to a team is a load of players who don't play together in the match. It's easy to do it in training, but in a game, it's a lot more different. Like our centre back pairing at the moment of Virgil and Matip, there's a big part of me that thinks that Klopp went with that because they know each other. I think it ain't even that he didn't want to play Ibu maybe or whatnot. I just think he must have thought this is the best combination of the two who know each other, who are the most fit, and I like them two together. And bringing in Ibu and trying to like mix it up. It's probably why he wasn't playing Simicast last season. We've said this stuff away because he's worried he's not used to them and it's already got problems, and then he's gonna play and it's rare. So I think we're getting a little bit worried unnecessarily because we know what our team went through last year. But at the same time, I think we're worried for the reason, as you said, where players who are playing at the moment are the ones who, again, touch wood, normally get injured. So if the other guys get injured, you think, well, fuck, it's only a matter of time until the injury-prone players get injured. And then if they're injured and the other players are injured, then what the hell do we do then? I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's more the worry, to be honest.
So, Matt, I'm going to come to you now. From midfield, Thiago's injured. Again, we don't know the extent of the injury. Harvey's obviously out for a good little while. Who else? I believe those are the only two central midfielders. Obviously, Milner, it looks like he's covering right back this season.
Just them two. Just them two, I think. Thiago and Elliot. Elliot, obviously, long-term. Thiago, we don't know how long for at the moment as things stand.
Going into this season, Matt, midfield was probably seen as the area where we had the most depth. Are you worried about midfield now?
Even though we had the most depth in terms of most numbers, I would say reliability-wise, no, because Ox and Naby have proven over the years that those two always break down. James Milner, as reliable as he is, he'll pick up a knock here or there as well. So that's already 3 down. So I'm kind of concerned because we don't know how long the Thiago injury is. And Harvey Elliott, who was brought in to replace Shaq / Genie Wijnaldum and everyone else, because we didn't do no business, is also a major worry. So when you deep it, we are in a little bit of a pickle. We just got to hope that we keep the core fit, and the core are probably the usual 3. That's Fabinho, Henderson, and I was going to say Thiago, but Thiago can't even keep himself fit either. Like, he's picked up a calf injury. So, but I think it is a little bit of cause for concern. I know Ox and Naby have started the season well, but can they keep it going? Are they going to pick up injuries? It remains to be seen, but I'm slightly concerned.
Fair enough. Khalid says, City fan here, please allow us today. No memes. I'm not going to lie, bro. If you don't expect any memes about Man City, you're in the wrong place, bro.
You're in the wrong department.
It's going to be a rough show potentially, because if I get an opportunity, I'm going to drop a City meme. I'm not even going to lie to you. I am.
Something like this.
We cannot replace him. We cannot.
You gotta love him. The Bond villain, man like Pep. All right, so in terms of going forward then this season, we spoke about injuries, but we've also seen Klopp willing to rotate a lot more than he had done in previous seasons. Now let's think about it. Since the start of the season, he's rotated at centre half, he's rotated fullbacks, and he's rotated midfielders. The only positions he hasn't really rotated is up top.
And
again,
to try not to laugh, sorry.
Yeah. And again, that is because we're quite low in numbers. Do you think Klopp, and I know Drift, you mentioned this in the post-match as well quite a bit, but do you think Klopp is really learning from his, I won't say past mistakes, but past seasons where he didn't rotate as much, and we maybe saw times where the team really looked sort of void for ideas and just looked knackered? So Drift, what's your thoughts on Klopp's rotation so far? Do you like it? Do you not?
Yeah, I like it when he puts players in the right position. He played Origi up front in the AC Milan game instead of out wide. He's playing Tsimikas, which I think deserved to probably not even get dropped, to be honest. I was really happy that he came back in. Milner's a much better right back than he is left back because it's more natural for him. So if you are going to play him at full back, I prefer it to be right back. He brought Jones on and played Jones in his right position. I know Jones used to get floated around quite a lot. Yeah, I actually like that he's playing people in their positions. Real talk, like he's doing rotation. I do like it, and he's putting the people where they should be. And I think that's what's making the team look a little bit more gelled, and we do look a lot more cohesive. So I'm enjoying it. And what's crazy is when you look back to the 18-19 season when we won the Champions League. Quite ironic, I'm wearing the beautiful kit as we talk.
Big up that kit.
He actually did quite a little bit of rotation in that season when necessary, if you remember. Not maybe as much as he's doing at the moment, but I remember during that season he was doing a lot of midfield rotation. He would play Origi in games. He would play Shaq in games. I think Shaq got 10 goals that season. So he did do a little bit of rotation. I think it was last year, mainly when we had all the injuries and he couldn't rotate, when we were really like confused with some of the decisions in the rotation. So is it a myth he doesn't rotate, or is it he doesn't rotate when he gets under pressure? I think when things are going quite well, Klopp's willing to take a risk because he feels the boys are confident. I think when we're under the cosh, that's when he keeps referring to type, and then he's scared to rotate because he just wants to get a result, and he thinks the best way to get that result is to go with a tried and tested kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know if you lot agree or not.
So that's going to lead me on to my next question. So Drift, you made some good points there, but Matt, I'm going to spin it, and this is not me spinning what you're saying, Drift, just in general. We said he didn't really rotate last season when he wasn't in a position to, or we weren't playing well, so we were under the cosh. You maybe wanted to use his tried and, again, trusted players. Do you also think there's an element to him not rotating over the last couple of seasons because he simply didn't trust the players behind his first 11, whereas now you're starting to see a few more players such as Tsimikas, who he brought in as a deputy, Kelleher, who's come through the ranks, as opposed to Mignolet maybe. Are we starting to see him rotate more, Matt, because there are more players in the squad he actually fully trusts?
I think you kind of nailed the head there, because I was thinking that as well. I was like, over previous years, he probably didn't rotate because he probably felt like the players he was bringing in either weren't ready or weren't good enough or they didn't show enough. Whereas now, you look at Tsimikas. Tsimikas has come on leaps and bounds last season. We didn't even really see him. He was injured, had COVID as well. He's made an amazing start to the season. You look at your likes of your Naby Keita, who, again, has had a good start to the season. Again, even Ox has had another good pre-season, and so far been able to stay fit. So I think, and also the Jota thing as well. Even if Firmino was fit, I still feel like he would rotate those anyway. Yeah, I still think Jota will play, but at least he's got the opportunity to rotate. And I think it's because now he probably feels the players that are there now, I've gotten that bit better. And now he probably feels he can rely on them more. And maybe they weren't even following instructions as well, because really and truly, last season, the only people they call upon every now and again was Shaqiri, Naby, and Ox, but it was very rare.
Origi now and again.
Yeah, but it's more so Shaqiri. Shaqiri was the one where we was like, yeah, he might play Shaqiri, but other than that, we kind of know it's going to be pretty much the same.
When?
Sorry, the Jota
in
as
general
well.
Or last year?
So
last season.
Last season.
Last season, Cal. He didn't draw for Origi ever.
No, I'm saying out of the whole of the crop that were there, sparingly was Origi, because obviously he started the Burnley game. He came on in a few games, but obviously not enough for him to be like
Oh,
seen
yeah.
as though he was really trusted, as opposed to someone like a Ben Davies who was literally dashed out of the car while it was moving and then
Yeah,
drugged.
yeah.
Yeah, and even Jota.
I think Origi only made 3 starts in all competitions though, which is madness
That
when you
is
think
very
about
crazy.
it.
No, that's mad.
That's
Still, I
crazy.
can't even lie. But
He's
I forgot
probably-
about Jota as
sorry,
well.
he's probably played around the same amount of minutes already. No, probably not yet, but he's on course to by
Close.
the end of the month to play more minutes this season than he did the whole of last season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the
definitely.
Luton game was the only game when he played more than 45 minutes, I think, or something like that.
Which begs the question then, and I'll come to both of you. Feel free, any of you, to jump in on this one. Talk was that Origi was going to leave in the summer. However, Klopp has spoken well about Origi. You've never heard Klopp say anything bad about Origi. Now, Klopp's not the sort of manager to throw a player under the bus either, though. So sometimes you've got to take what he says with a pinch of salt. However, sometimes you've got to look at his actions. And the fact that he started him against AC Milan, the fact he came on against Crystal Palace, he's come on in other games as well. Do you think it was almost a case of, well, him and Origi sat down sort of during the summer and said, look, if an offer comes in for you and you want to go, we'll accept it. If it doesn't, you've kind of shown that you're willing to be a squad player and you're willing to come in and try and take your chance when you get it. So if we don't get the right offer, we're not just going to sell you. But if we don't as well, you're going to get a lot more minutes and you're going to get a chance to show me what's going on. Do you guys think that's the case, or am I clutching?
See, here's the thing, right? I think there's a big misconception about Origi because a lot of people just have like a hate for him. I guess we could even, like, from some of the evidence recently, like an actual hate for him, which I don't, it confuses the hell out of
what
me.
I'm going to say to caveat that drift is that thing you're alluding to doesn't represent a lot of the fan base. I know. I don't think anyone dislikes Origi on a personal level. And if they do, then they really, in my opinion, need their head checked. But I think there's a professional dislike for Origi by some sections of the fans.
Yeah, I mean,
if there's
whichever way
anyone who
you look
dislikes
at
him
it,
personally, then for me, there's an issue there.
whichever way you want to look at it, the confusion for me, whether it's a professional level or personal level, but as you say, the personal level makes absolutely no sense at all. He's a proper top like guy in terms of like what he does on and off the field, especially even for the City with the uni and all that stuff. But I feel like he is a model professional. But as I kept saying to you, and I know it was easy for people to dismiss it, but maybe now this season it might be a little bit easier to understand where it's coming from. That they're humans, they're not robots, which I think a lot of us forget. And if you try and you perform and you do well and you come in and you play your part and you're still left in the cold, no matter how professional you are, as you can even see with Harry Kane now, who there doesn't really get more model professional than Harry Kane. You as a human being are eventually going to go, what is the fucking point? And I feel like last season especially, Origi just felt like, what's the fucking point? So when he did get played, yeah, he probably couldn't be asked. But how can you blame a man who got dashed out, went on a loan he didn't want to go on, came back, proved himself when he came back, played a pivotal role in trophies that we won, and then when he was like, Gaffer, I'm still here, you know, Klopp just, for some reason, just didn't give him any more love at all. Eventually, as a human being, a little bit even like maybe what Minamino might even be going through, where like he has a good game or score past Crystal Palace or he'll have a good pre-season, and then he won't play again, and he must be like, well, what am I trying for? Like, I know they're going to say like, oh, being professional is what my job is and that, but you're still a human. And if I'm doing everything I can to show the manager that I'm great, but I never, ever, ever get manager of the employee of the month, even when my numbers are better than someone else, even when I've made more commission or whatever, eventually you're either going to move on or you're going to just down tool a little bit and go, well, nobody even notices I'm making all this effort anyway. And I think Origi just kind of fell in that bracket, but I think he is a model professional. Nobody's ever cussed him in training. Even when we had certain journalists, they're like, in training, people say he's like a whiz. Like, I just feel like he just lost enthusiasm to play football.
Do you know how I look here, though?
Sorry, I think it's the effort thing that really irks people, Drift. It's the effort and the enthusiasm sometimes. When he was coming on, he seemed like he didn't have the effort. And again, obviously, I know they said it as a joke, but it's like, all right, it's like if someone on the hair was to ask us a question on Super Chat, like, who's the most oh, who's the most fussy when it comes to food? You lot would be like, it's Callum. The fact that someone was like, who's the laziest in training, and then Firmino and Allison was literally started laughing with like Origi without even second choice. I think that sort of thing really winds Klopp up. Like, there's always certain things that wind people up in life, like, and like, I think
that was
that's
last
one of
season, though,
Klopp's
Cal.
things.
Sorry
No,
to cut you. That was maybe if that question was asked 2 years ago, no one would have said Origi. This is what I mean. I feel like he lost his motivation, and like maybe that, you know what I mean. And then it spilled into his everyday work. I don't know what his personal life is like, but I don't think he's got children. I think he's just got a girlfriend. So even he don't even have home distractions. So he probably just goes home and just really dwells in his, why am I getting no games? Where's my career going? Do you get what I mean? Like, because he don't have life distractions and things like that. It might be a bit harder for him to forget he's not getting no love. He's not getting any joy. Like I said, I'm just trying to look at it from a human point of view. Same with Minamino, same with Shaqiri, same with some of the other guys who were really left out. No matter how well they did, no matter what they did, they couldn't get another game. Do you know what I mean? Or it'll be weeks until we saw them again. And as Matt's alluded to loads of times, if you're playing well in the game, why do you not get another game just because somebody's come back in who's considered a favourite? Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm personally not a believer of that, unless the golf is dramatic, unless Mo Salah's the one that was out for a week, and while he was out, somebody performed well. Of course, Mo's coming back in it. Like, but even then, I guess it's still a bit bad, man, but it's more understandable. Do you know what I mean? But if Firmino ain't really banging in the goals, as great of a player as he is, and then Origi bangs too, why can't Origi play the next game? Do you get what I mean? Like, those little things are a bit confusing to me. Like, so I don't know,
the
man.
argument be that that's not the only player it happens to, though, Drift. It does happen to others, like Simicast, we've seen it happen to. Play some good games. Robbo came straight back in.
Massively unfair.
But is it unfair, or is it just how Klopp does his management?
Nah, that was unfair, bro. I think we all sat here and said Simicast should have played. He deserved to play.
I think there's a difference between unfair and making a decision, though, because here's the thing, though, Drift. We could be sitting there on the flip side saying, well, Robbo should come straight back into the team. Before he got injured, he was the best left back. So why shouldn't he get his place back? So I get where you're coming from, but again, that's why I say there's two sides to both to every story, because
that's what
it's hard. It's really hard to get that balance right.
That's what I wanted to say from before. I think what you're saying, like, it could potentially be true, because there could be that point of where it kind of the camel. What was it? The camel breaks the straw's back. That was it. The straw breaks the camel's back.
The straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? I got my words twisted.
I was gonna say the camel can break the straw's back anytime he wants.
Drop me out of this episode, bro. I'm so tired, people. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. What I was trying to say is that
I don't know why that tickled me so much. So.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, this is tiredness right now. But no, what it is I think you have a point, because I do feel like Origi being human may potentially be like, do you know what? I ain't getting no chances, so I'm not really gonna try. But on the other hand, you can't also forget that Klopp, still being Klopp and still being the manager, is gonna look at that regardless of how Origi feels. He's still gonna want him to be professional. He's still gonna want him to be at the top of his game in training. And I feel like with Klopp, again, we've seen it. If you're not doing something in training, I don't think he's going to reward you. And even though Origi may have been in his feelings, you've also got to look at the other, so that's what I'm saying, the other side of it. Klopp is looking at face value. Okay, this guy probably wants more first team football. He's not getting it. But what I'm seeing in training, I'm not liking it. So therefore, why should I reward him? One thing I do think was harsh, though, is that last season, there were times when you kind of felt like, raw, like, Origi's still not in the team. Like, he's not injured or anything. He's just not there. That says to me there may have been a little issue, something we might not find out, maybe like if he does leave or when he does leave, so to speak. Because again, Origi, I kind of feel like now we probably will see the best of Origi. He's kind of playing for his future club, so to speak, because he's got at least until January. Obviously, January is when the transfer window is up again.
Sorry to cut you on that, Matt. I genuinely don't know when his contract finishes.
No, apparently
it's next year, bro. This is his last year.
It's definitely this is his last.
Yeah, but
this is his last year.
Other reports that if he plays a certain amount of games, we can trigger an extension. I've also heard that as well. But I haven't heard enough of that. I've heard enough about that for a little while now. That was last year when I heard that. And every single article I've read have all said it's this summer 2022. Which says to me he's playing for his future. And if we get the best out of Origi and he bangs out this season and he does leave and he gets a move, fair play to him, because at the end of the day, he's 25 years of age. Like, he's still got loads of football left. He can still give it a go at Liverpool, and you never know. It could be another unsung hero again this year. You never know, you know.
Am I looking into this too much? Or do you lot agree with me? Because one thing I noticed is that Shaqiri and Origi would always have their Liverpool jacket on and be in the crowd or be on the bench, even when they were left out of squads on a regular basis. And there's a part of me that still finds that very professional within itself, and I think it should be applauded, because if you know you're not even in the squad at all, you could just throw a strop and go on. And we've seen players do it in the past where they're not even at the game because they knew they weren't going to be part of the match day squad.
I think they have to be. I think they have to go unless they've got a legit reason not to. And if
Are
they
you
don't,
sure? Because I've seen other clubs have players not turn up, Cal, because they're not in the squad.
I think it's a rule for us that even if you're not in the squad, you still turn up. I think,
okay, unless something, unless
there's a valuable reason, or you're injured.
Couple of years ago,
if you don't just like, I'll be honest, Klopp's not a man that you really want to be crossing. If you don't turn up without telling him, I don't think it goes down well.
Do you know the last person to do that? I believe it was Sacco.
Man almost got left to Alcatraz, bro.
I remember Sacco found that he wasn't in the squad or something, man. He just went home, bro.
Yeah, he almost got left in Alcatraz. Klopp's not a man. Klopp's the sort of man that if you're meant to be at work at 9 and you don't hear anything by 9:10, you'll be at your door like, why aren't you at work? Like, why don't you call me and tell me you weren't ill? Like, he don't play that. I think Klopp's very much on respect.
I like the riders. I like the riders, because when Thingy broke Elliot's leg, man weren't even in the team, and he was the first on the pitch back in the team. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I told you, we need that in our team, man. We need those about it players, because nobody wanted it. Because people forget how big he is. I see him standing over certain man, and man realized they didn't really want it. They didn't want none of
man's big though, just don't really mean about it, bro. We've seen that happen plenty of times.
No, I hear that, but I believe Origi's about it. I believe he's about it.
Maybe. Couple super chats, people. Please smash the like as well if you haven't. LTAB, I think this season Liverpool win a domestic cup. I'm going to get to that because I do want us to speak about the importance of different trophies. So LTAB, we will get back to that. Khalid Abraham says, Drift, don't let your boys do us like that Echo had.
I know, because I'm a Pep guy, innit?
Echo had will live on, man.
It's hard. You know what? It genuinely is hard for me in terms of like, I don't know if you like ever get that feeling when you have somebody who you really like or whatever, but Guardiola is in my top 5 favorite players of all time. Like as a player, like as a child, like I loved watching Guardiola in it, and like I just everything about him. And when he became a manager, I was so chuffed. But obviously at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, I could root for him, innit? But now he's like a direct rival. Like, I do struggle because I love Pep. If he wasn't a City manager, I'll be backing him all day. So I do get a little bit torn when he gets all this abuse. It's like I laugh because it's funny, but I do feel a little bit of a way sometimes that man's memeing the guys. Arguably the best manager ever, and like he's just getting memed up the place and all this, and it's just like I don't know, man.
No,
Drifty, take that. Hold on, Drifty, take that back. I know you love Pep, but take that back. He's not the greatest
no, Cal. He 100% goes in a conversation of one of the best managers of all time. 100%.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best. I won't say he's
Cal.
the best.
But there's an argument. There's an argument. If you look at his achievements and what he's done, you can't just always go, oh, but he's always had the better team. That is unfair to say.
But you got to look at variables. You got to look at everything, because I would say Ancelotti CV.
Ancelotti's right up there. 100%.
Ancelotti for me is the godfather. Like, boy.
100%. No, them man, they're all going in that conversation.
I think that's an Ish Talk episode on the members side. I think that's an Ish Talk.
Yeah, I think that one, we need 2 hours for that one.
Yeah, that might be a 3-part series. So. and even at the end, we might not even have an answer.
Do you know what? Quick question, Drift. Yeah, who's had a better innings at their club, Guardiola at City or Klopp at Liverpool?
Begrudgingly, I have to say Guardiola, and you know I adore Klopp, but I can't. The logic that we always use to back him in a true argument is always factual and it's always right there. But if you're just looking on paper, which is what you do for innings, as you just said, like if you're talking about innings, you're just looking on paper. Guardiola has won a treble a domestic treble and he's got 100 points and he's won the league 3 out of the 5 seasons he's been there. That's tremendous. I think
No,
I
it's
think that gets
amazing.
downplayed kind of disrespectfully.
This is where we'll always. This is
But
why
this
we'll go
is
back
where-
because there's no context in that, Drew.
No, and no, but bro, here's the wickedest. We start adding context. Alex Ferguson's not as good as people say he is.
Disagree.
Bro,
No,
he
Ferguson's
monopolized the
about it.
league for years and had all that
Ferguson about
success when they had all the money and no one else
Ferguson
did.
about it.
Just because it did. No, I'm not saying he's not about it. I'm just saying everyone thinks a sugar daddy's the only way you're the wealthiest club. They had inside help to be ready for the Premier League more than anyone. And then that Premier League money made them the most successful team because they were the most wealthiest for a very long time in the Premier League. So you add the context, Man United's dynasty isn't as good as other
But then,
people's.
if that's the case, then we
bro,
kind of have
even-
to do the same for City then, because it's like saying take away that checkbook that they have.
Yeah, of course.
And
Of
it's like-
course.
that's why it's hard because you
This-
see,
this
this is how I see it. Yeah, you see,
Fergie brought
like,
it from the bottom there.
bro.
Yeah,
Fergie
but he had
a
the most
core-
money and he was at the wealthiest club in the
That's
league
very
for a
true.
long
No,
time.
He still brought money from the youth. Pep literally
Yeah.
had everything.
Pep
All Pep
walked
had to do was
in
go in and
and
hang up
got
pictures.
rid of everything.
But Fergie
He
had
had to hang
time,
pictures.
guys. Pep didn't have time. Fergie had time. That's
didn't have
context
time.
as well.
He
Pep
didn't
didn't
need-
have
he
time.
didn't need
Pep
time.
didn't have 3 or 4
No,
years. Come on,
no,
man.
no,
You
no,
see,
no,
manager,
he
you got to
didn't
win the
need it.
league, guys.
Did you see
didn't
Pep's
need it,
transfers
bro.
in his first proper summer?
No, but what I'm saying is, guys, the Premier League at that point was so competitive and there were
Mm-hmm.
so many other teams that were doing well and had money that Pep didn't have time to come in and go, I'll give you for chance for 2-3 years. Otherwise, he would have got sacked or he would have been called a failure. He didn't have that time to do
No,
that.
but that's what I'm saying, Drift. He didn't need it because he already had the foundation there for him. Like it's not like so. Put it this way, yeah. Whoever comes in after Klopp, if they go in and win a bag of trophies, they'll always be seen as they're sick, but they'll never truly have that that ethos about them where it's like right, that person brought us from the bottom. Bruv, Shankly, if I'm not mistaken, Paisley won more than Shankly did.
Yeah. Paisley's probably Liverpool's best ever
But
manager.
who's seen?
But
who's
who's
seen?
seen as the
Yep.
god amongst Liverpool?
I
fans?
know,
as
but
the
you know,
godfather.
but I think that's a little bit different because the entire culture of the club was created by Shanks. So I think
And
that's different, though.
I hear
That's a
you.
bit unfair to judge a Pep on that. Like,
But dare I say it, bruv, the culture up until Alex Ferguson left Man United was created by him. The culture that Klopp's created.
no,
at Liverpool-
Busby
No,
already had a culture at
No,
Man
but they
United.
lost. No,
Ferguson
but they
didn't
lost that
create that.
identity. No, but they lost that identity, bruv.
Yeah, maybe to a degree, but there was
ours
still
as well.
already a culture about United, though. Do you get what I mean? There was still, remember, they'd won a European trophy, and there was still a culture to that club. Ferguson.
Maybe I should have been a bit clear. I'm not saying they didn't have nothing before Ferguson come, but I'm saying they didn't have a recognized culture at the club at the time. They had past cultures, just like we had past cultures. But in the same way Fergie went in and did what he did at United, Klopp came in and changed the culture back to what it needed to be to breed that winning mentality, to breed success, to breed what he got. So whoever comes in after Klopp, and again, this is the whole variable with owners, etc. Whoever comes in after Klopp has got such a great foundation that they'll be adding on to what he got. When Klopp come here, bro, the foundation, there was Japanese weed growing through the ground. There was no furniture in the house. The floorboards were still a bit creaky. Klopp's fixed all of that. So whoever comes in now, all they got to do is just put a lick of paint on the walls or change it to what they want it to be. They don't have to build
No,
it from the bottom.
I hear that. I do hear that. Another thing that I think is slightly unfair with the comparison if people want to keep I don't know, picking and choosing when the context is added. Ferguson was at Man United for 26 years. And as amazing as he was in the time in one sense, that means there were 13 years he didn't win the league. And in 26 years, he only won the Champions League twice. So if you can look at things other ways and think, that's shit. You think Klopp would only win 2 Champions Leagues if he had 26 years at Liverpool?
I don't know. I think that's harsh, Drift.
No. But what I'm saying is you could look at it that way. 26 attempts to win the Champions League and only did it twice. That's kind of shit. Honestly, if you really deep it, that's kind of shit.
I don't know. We'll have to agree to disagree.
So,
As I said,
you know what I mean?
this needs its own show. It needs its own
It
show.
does.
It does.
It
It
Does need its own show.
And
Let me read out.
I think Pep or Klopp would win 13 Premier Leagues if they had 26 years at the clubs that they're at. I think there's a big opportunity.
Maybe.
Pep's done 3 out of 5. There
No,
is
but
really
do you know
no
what?
one who can actually say that statistically, if he had another 21 years, that he wouldn't win 10 more titles. Like,
No, when you say it like that, that's true. But then one thing I'll just quickly before we move on is this as well, yeah. Like obviously Pep Guardiola's come into Man City and has done very, very well. There's no denying that. But let's not act like Pellegrini and Man City before him didn't win the league either. So what Pep's done is, yeah, he's kind of doubled down on the Premier Leagues, still can't win the Champions League. And yeah, he's
he
mashed
did
that
it back to back first.
No,
None
but
of the others could do back to back.
But hear me out though. Out of Pellegrini and Mancini, he's undoubtedly had the most amount of funding out of those managers by far. By far.
I think that's
And
more
maybe
because he's
rightly
been the
so.
longest, though, right? Am I
Yeah,
right
yeah.
in believing he's
I
the only
think
one
his
who's been there
reputation-
longer than 3 seasons?
Yeah, but I think his reputation as well probably allows it. Remember, Tiki Bisterius and my man have all come from Barcelona, so they've got that. They brought that kind of culture along to Man City, and Pep was part of that. So they were always going to give him more time than any other manager, in my opinion, as well. So
yeah. Ash says, rumor has it Pep is still in the centre circle screaming, "Where are you? Let's be having you." Quam says this perfectly. Only 234 likes, people. Come on, there's over 600 of you. Let's get up to 500 people. Quickly smash that like button and you're back in the live chat. Mr. Dare I Say Drift says, imagine we find out in 2 years that Divock trains with baby apes for when he went to Kenya with his family. I don't know about that one, Mr. Dare I Say. I won't read the rest of that.
Did I read that? Yeah, I wasn't sure if he's talking about the clothing. There's a clothing. If I forget it for now.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah. I'm not too sure.
Troy M says, shout out to the Kopish squad. Shout out to yourself, Troy M. Shout out to everyone in the chat as well. And
big
everyone
up.
who's watching. All right, so we're going to move on topics now, people. I think it's only right we talk about our Egyptian king, Mo Salah. Now, there's been a lot of talk since Ronaldo's come back. Is he the greatest Premier League player of all time? And rightly so, that conversation should be had. Very few people speak about Mo Salah as one of the Premiership greats. They think about him as a modern Premier League great, but as an overall Premier League great, when we mention his name, especially Liverpool fans, we get laughed out of streams, we get laughed out of pubs and conversations. People just laugh at us without actually having the debate. Where, in your opinion, I'm going to start position-wise as a winger first. Where, in your opinion, does Mo Salah rank as a winger/wide forward in the Premier League? And then secondly, where does he rank overall right now? What does he need to do to become number one?
He's the best in the Prem wide forward. That's
in
easy.
The Premier League era, full stop, you mean? Cal?
Yeah.
In the Premier League era.
Or best attacking Premier League player. Because again, I don't like to say Mo Salah's better than say like a Gerrard, for example. They're very different.
Yeah. I'll keep it simple and then let Matt continue. Best and best.
If you're talking about Premier League era, not just now, yeah? You're saying era, yeah?
Yeah, Premier League era.
If you're saying Premier League era, for me, I think right now he will go down as the best. And if you're talking about in world football right now, he is the best. It's as simple as that. Let me reverse this question back.
He's the best player in the Premier League. Name
me a better wing forward right now in world football right now.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, if you can find one.
You guys know where I put Salah.
No, I'm just saying, can you even? Is there an argument? Is there even an argument?
Not in my opinion, no. You guys know where I put Salah, though.
Yeah, and if we're talking about Premier League era, is there anyone else that kind of can talk to him in the Premier League era, in your opinion?
All right, so here's this. This is where it gets tricky because you get so many formation changes and changes to how teams play.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be subjective. So
yeah.
A Giggs or Beckham or Maneman, they're going to be different to like your Hazard, your
They're
Salahs.
midfielders, though. They're not wide forwards.
This is why I find it difficult. It's difficult to compare them. It is difficult because their roles are different, but they're almost compared to each other. So do you have to compare Salah with strikers then?
No. So this is how I would
with people who were similar to him. Like,
Hazard,
like Duff, Hazard, Robben, Mane, players who actually play the actual same position. Like Sancho now. Sancho's gone United to play the exact same position that Salah played. You know what I mean? Those type of players. Martial, Rashford. Like players like that actually play. Sterling, Mahrez, players who are actually, that is their position, a wide forward.
All right, so here's where I'm going to throw another spanner in the works, just to kind of play
go on.
devil's advocate and get your mind space. If we were to compare Rafinha to Salah, they both play identical position for their clubs. However, their role, in my opinion, is completely different. Rafinha's there to create, Salah's there to score goals. So let's say, for example, Salah got 20 goals this season and Rafinha got 15 assists. How would you then compare the two players? Because their roles are very different.
Yeah. They're just different.
They both did their job.
But they're both amazing. I just think it comes down to split hairs in terms of like who you prefer. Who would you want on your team? Like, if you know what I mean, like who?
Sorry,
if you're
I just
going
want to
into
clear
a
up.
final.
So Hisham, I just want to clear up. I'm not saying Salah don't create. I'm just saying one creates. One's there solely to create. If they get goals, as a bonus. One's there to score goals. I think Salah creating is a bonus.
Even Mahrez
is
a creator. He's like a creator. He's not he's not necessarily a goal scorer. I hear what you're saying. I think, see, as you said, that whole argument for me then tends to, okay, like if they're both doing their job in different ways, just like who do you prefer? And I think that's just a conversation to be had. There's no wrong or right answer. But I think when you look at Salah, his performances over the last how many years and what he's done, the records that he's broken, I can't think of another, let's just say forward. Like, so he's not a striker, he's not a winger, he's a forward. I can't think of another forward that can match him. You can't match him to like a Perez, because Perez played in a 4-4-2. You can't match him to a Lundberg. You can
sorry to cut you there though, Matt. I know he played in a 4-4-2, but you'd arguably say Perez was one of the first sort of modern one of the first players to start playing that modern style. Because even though Arsenal did theoretically play a 4-4-2, you could argue they almost played a 4-2-3-1 at times. But Henry would sort of drift, or Bergkamp would drift into the number 10, but Henry would be that. Henry was almost a false 9 before Firmino. It's just because he scored so many goals, people often forget his creativity as well.
Well, we're not going to have a conversation where Perez is getting compared to Salah.
See, this is what I was going to say. The reason I even said that is because I'm not being generous to Perez. No, because their numbers.
I don't rate Perez anywhere near high enough for him to be able to.
Perez, I think
Salah.
Perez is sick, but the reason I'm saying that is because different times, different eras. Even if you want to say it was close to a 4-2-3-1, but in my opinion, it's still a 4-4-2. Because I remember the Arsenal team. It was Perez, Gilberto, Vieira, and Lundberg, Bergkamp, Henry. And if anything, Bergkamp was dropping off, I suppose, maybe to that number 10, how you were saying it, Cal, and then Henry kind of just floating, doing whatever he wants. But
Lundberg was an inside forward if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it was.
I think he was more like an inside
But if
forward.
we start comparing them, man, let's be real. As great as they are, Lundberg can't hold a candle to Salah. Let's be real. I'm trying to be generous to them, man.
Yeah, neither can Perez.
Perez was amazing.
I'm not going to lie.
On Salah's level.
I think Perez is one of the most overrated players.
No, bro. Perez is serious, bro.
Perez was good, but he is massively overrated.
When you say stuff like that, I know I'm going to have to come out my yard and be looking over my shoulder. I live in London. You know there's a bag of Arsenal
I've said that. He is definitely rated too highly. I don't care.
Bro, Perez was serious, bro.
Beyond serious.
He had some serious moments.
Nah, Drifty was serious, bro.
He was all right.
Perez was different, you know.
It's fair enough. Like I get it. I personally feel like people remember that Arsenal team very fondly, and some of the players in that team get a bit overhyped.
Well, because I remember you don't really rate Vieira that highly, do you?
No, I rate him. I think Roy Keane was better than him.
That's an argument. It's not one that some people agree with, but
Gerrard and Roy Keane over Vieira, in my opinion. That doesn't mean I don't rate Vieira. Of course, I rate him.
No. For me, I think Vieira was better than Roy Keane, but that's just
me. Another name from Anfield Road, Anfield Road End, Overmars, inside forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, Overmars was an inside forward.
Yeah, Overmars. But I'm being generous to these guys because they can't compare. If we're talking, I mean, then again, you know, let me not be rude because the game has changed. It's not just about numbers. Let me take that away because it's about what you bring to your team as well. And what those players brought to their team, they had amazing ability and they were goal scorers, but they weren't goal scorers on the level of a Mohamed Salah. I think that's what it is. I think we just because even I say a peak Bell, but how long was peak Bell? Peak Bell had 2 good years.
Do you know
in
what?
My opinion.
I've got a theory on this, and shut this down if you guys I think Bell looked a lot better than Salah in his peak. But again, I don't think numbers lie, and I don't think performances lie. Like Salah's
Bale for
peak
me-
was the 17-18 season where he broke records in a league that he hadn't played in for years.
And when
Bell
it's-
had been playing in the Premier League and was accustomed to it and had a team built around him. Salah came into a team and didn't have a team built around him. Like
No,
Bale
I think that's a bit.
no,
I think that's a bit unfair, bro.
Tottenham, hear me out.
Tottenham was shit.
No, they weren't, bruv.
Nah, bro, Tottenham was shit. They had a couple of good
No,
players.
they finished
but-
fourth just like us.
Because of Bale, bro.
Bruv, arguably that season we finished fourth because of Salah, bruv. Without his goals, we wouldn't have finished fourth.
No, but I think Salah still had like Van Dijk came halfway through that. Coutinho was there, Mane was there, Firmino was there. Like Bale did not have a supporting cast, Cal. If you remember, there was, I think he had did Van der Vaart leave that year, or was Van der Vaart there that year?
All right, so what is Bale's peak then? Is it we talk about the season before he went to Madrid or the season before?
I will say Bale's peak lasted 4 years. I will say it was his last 2 years at Tottenham and his first 2 years at Real Madrid. No, Bale was hot for a long time.
This is where I'm confused. Are we talk about his Premier League or he's talking about his overall career?
Oh, I'm just talking about his career in general.
Okay,
yeah.
overall career, yes, then
Yeah.
Talk. But if we're just
Salah's had a better Premier League career.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're just talking about Premier League,
speaking about Prem, I thought that's what we're sticking on. If we talk about overall peak, then Bell can talk to anyone. Like, let's clear that up. Bell can talk to anyone. I thought we'd just talk about Prem. So apologies to anyone watching if I got
because he had his feet up with an umbrella over him, and that's how he's kind of perceived now at the end of his career. People forget that peak Bell was a problem.
Yeah, massive.
Like it was an actual problem. He's one of the greatest players I think I've seen. Like in terms of just like the way he got better and better and better, and then it was like he was just winning games on his own. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Again, was Bale an inside forward though?
Kind of.
He wasn't.
Kind
I don't think he was.
But you know what? Bale goes in the same kind of category as Hazard. I would arguably say he was probably better as a 10 than any other position on the pitch, really.
He just had a free role though, innit?
Like a support striker /10. Yeah, like Bale. See, Hazard, I think Hazard was only a wide forward because it was the only way to get him in a system that all the managers wanted to play. I think if you want to get the best out of Hazard, you play him in a 10 or a support striker role, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's a tough one.
I think it is very tough. It's very tough when you look at all the different nuances and you really fine tune and get into the depth of football, especially because, I mean, what's the Premier League's been going for, 30 years now? Just under 30 years?
It must be 30 exactly, right?
Coming up to 30
1991, 92, I think was the first.
So, yeah.
So it's 30 years, 30 years, exactly. Yeah.
And you think of the amount of changes in that period between now and then is pretty crazy. Like for a sport that's been around for centuries, the change alone in the last 30 years, just in the Premier League in terms of tactics and how managers set out and all that is crazy. Because even when you think of the low block, for example, the low block wasn't a thing until maybe like the mid 2000s, maybe even later than that. Because I remember Arsenal used to go and PAM teams. I think, why don't these teams just drop off a little bit? Why are they playing a high line against Henry? What sense is that when you've got two slow centre backs and two fullbacks who are really slow? Why would you play a high line? But again,
you could arguably say it was Benitez and Mourinho that kind of started to bring in that defensive style of football, innit? Where it was like, you'd go into a game and you'd literally look at the opposition and just do everything to stop them from having a good game. It was Rafa and Mourinho that kind of came in and started doing that.
To be fair. Got a shout out to Rack MK. Hi, bro. Thank you very, very much. As always,
Big up,
Rack, for your
every
amazing
time,
contribution. Man. Really do appreciate it.
Big up, Rack.
A couple more super chats. Old School Tunes 80 says, Salah is Muslim. There's always an agenda. # facts. Again, that's a topic for another show. It's a topic we want to speak about, but it's a very difficult topic to speak about. I got to be honest. And that's not me trying to gloss over the situation or
No,
kind of
because I
downplay it.
completely understand where the super chat's coming from,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
so do I.
delicate. You got to be very
It's
careful with those
exactly,
conversations. Very
exactly.
careful.
It's
Yeah.
very because it's just a tough one. It's a tough one, but
Mm.
it is out there. Those sort of agendas are out there in football. Like it's plain for everyone to see, unfortunately. Himanshu, I disagree. Hazard wasn't a wide forward. He was a classic wide player like a Giggs. He wasn't there to score mad goals like Salah, but link up the team. Do you agree with that, Drift?
No,
And
I think there were times when he was more of an inside forward. Giggs was a really traditional left midfielder, like proper old school, get to the byline and get a crossing kind of thing. I know he kind of changed his game as he got older, but in his prime, he was a real left midfielder, like an LM. You know, you're playing Football Manager,
yeah,
like he
yeah,
was an actual LM. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I hear that. Ash says Salah to Cristiano Ronaldo 1.0. Sorry, Salah number 1, Cristiano Ronaldo 1.0, 2, Hazard 3, Bell 4, Ginola 5, Newcastle Spurs. He was dangerous. Yes, people sleep on Ginola. I just did it. I just slept on Ginola. Could argue
Ginola was
Ginola was
a
an inside
baller.
forward.
Ginola was, I think he
Could
was another one of those players who could do what he wanted to be.
he was like you think of the physique of the man as well. Like you look at him and you think, yeah, I could be playing as a centre back, really. Like the
What
guy
was he,
was a
6'3",
unit.
6'4", something like
I
that?
don't know if he was that tall, but I just remember
I'm
looking at him
sure
and
I
he's.
heard he was big still.
Let me see if I can find his stats.
Yeah, hey, David Ginola, you know. Man, I have to call him David Julana. You can't even
Yeah,
say David Ginola. There's no spice when you say it like that. Man was David Julana.
he's
No,
1.8,
he was an absolute baller.
6'1", 6'1", bruv. That's tall for a wide forward, you know.
Even Zola, could you arguably say Zola kind of played like a kind of
I
inside
think
forward
Zola.
number
I think
10 kind
Zola
of?
had a free role, you know. I think Zola
Yeah.
had. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Do you know how weird it? Like, I got to meet Zola, lovely guy. But when you look at the guy, he's tight. There's barely anything to him, bro. You never saw him get muscled. You never saw people bullying him.
You
He
couldn't
just
catch him,
knew.
Cal.
No, but bruv, even when people caught up with him, you couldn't really bully him. I've never seen anyone muscle Zola. And he was
Mm.
playing in an era where if you didn't have that physicality about you, you would get roughed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Unless you were
true.
Owen, where you were so quick that defenders couldn't catch you,
Mm.
you would get roughed up. And he just dealt with it. Like there was never a player who's turned around and said, yeah, you could bully Zola if you needed to, or you could rough him up. Zola was about that life.
Mm.
Arts Carragher. And that was in
No,
his
Zola was a
twilight
baller,
days. That was in
man.
his twilight days. Josh Artim says Mo is the best right winger in world football at the moment. No cap. Statistically, stylistically, technically, marketability, and understanding the game. Can't name one right winger better. Josh, take a bow, bruv. Because there's no arguments from me.
Good shout on this one. Kuehl was an inside forward, arguably.
Yes, he was. Injuries did
Kuehl.
kill him. That's a shout, Ash.
A lot of people forget Prime Leeds Kuehl was fucking, he was disgusting. He was such a good player.
Absolute quality. For anyone watching on Twitch, there are some issues with the platform at the moment, not us. So hopefully you're able to still watch it. But if you're not, then please stay tuned. But Twitch may have some issues at the moment. All right. So we've spoken about Salah, and obviously Matt will join us in a minute again.
Mm.
I was going to speak another topic, but I'm going to save that one till last because I think that's the most fun. Liverpool's importance on competitions this season. Before I get into that, Joe, I'll just read the super chat. So Genie Houdini says, I've already asked Drift and Matt this question, but Cal, worst case scenario, if Klopp during his tenure only wins a Premier League and Champions League, rate his legacy from 1 to 10. As in, he only wins. That's all he's won, and he doesn't win anything else now until the end of his tenure.
Mm.
For me, his legacy's still at 8 or a 9 because I've got to look at what he took over and where he brought us to. And again, I don't want to draw out any arguments or anything. I've got to look at the regime he's under as well and the competition. Like, in my opinion, we had no right to win a league and a Champions League compared to what other teams in the Premier League and Europe are doing. Like he masterminded that, in my opinion. And again, there's other people in there as well. You got to shout out Buvac, you got to shout out Pep Linders, you got to shout out Michael Edwards. You got to shout out a lot of people. But for me, it's an 8 or a 9 because overall, Klopp changed everything about the football on the pitch. Like I remember going to watch Liverpool versus Crystal Palace in the season where Klopp took over from Brendan, and that team to now is more night and day than you would ever believe. Like fans were leaving the stadium early. We had terrible players in the team that we tried to hype up because they were Liverpool players. You had a structure and style of play that was pretty horrible to watch. He's changed all of that, and he's given us the holiest of the holy grails.
I'm not gonna lie, Cal, I think he gets a 9. You know.
Yeah, 8 or a 9. 8 or a 9. 9. I'm not gonna argue with a 9.
The man has consistently got us performing at the top level, and the comparison to everyone else, and you put the context into it, is disgusting. I'm sure I saw a thing that said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already outspent Klopp in 2.5 years as Man U manager. Klopp's been Liverpool manager for 5, and he's already outspent him.
But that wouldn't surprise me.
So, like,
surprise me at all.
That's ridiculous, bro, when you really think about it. Man United aren't even considered as rich as Chelsea and City, but yet their managers still outspent us in 2.5 seasons. Like,
yeah, this narrative that Chelsea and Man City are much richer than Man United's got to stop. Like Man U are just as rich as they acquired their wealth through different means, but they're all as rich as each other. Like there's a reason those three pay out the most astronomical transfer fees and give players stupidly high wages. And I know people turn around and say, well, we've got the second highest in the league, but that's based on bonuses. That's not based on just core salaries. Like there's a reason those three are able to outspend and cripple teams across Europe because they can. We aren't one of those.
They're careless with their money to an extent.
Yeah, exactly. Like dare I say, if you'd given Klopp an extra 150 mil over the course of his whole tenure, I think we'd be uncatchable. Like, and that's just me being real. Like, if you gave Klopp 150, that's an extra 30 mil a season since he's been there. I don't think anyone touches him. I don't think anyone touches our squad that he would have created. He's just different. He's really different from the others.
He's competing against people with guns, and all he's got is a knife. He's got to get real up close before he can do anything. You know what I mean? Like, well, them lot are just sniping from a distance.
But he's a ninja, though, innit? That's what makes him so special. Himanshu, as of now, where would you rank Klopp in the Premier League era? Top 5?
What, as managers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only managers in the Premier League era that have...
Sorry, Drift, before you answer that, this is fantastic. Sam Matt's Legend says, Ollie's initial stands for only group stage. If he doesn't get out of the group, I am running with that. Sam Max Legends, you're a legend for that. You're a legend.
Man, like Ole Gunnar and that.
Yes, sorry. Top 5.
I think the only managers in the Premier League era that I'd put above Klopp without context, because if you add context, then we can have a serious argument that they're not even above him even then, is Wenger, Mourinho, Ferguson, Pep. I don't think yeah. And then if you add context, a lot of those managers just had as much money as they wanted, and you know what I mean? So yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
You've got a tree, can't you, if you forget about the main man? Forget about the main man. But no, I'll be honest, he's definitely top 5. He has to be top 5, and he could go high. I don't think he'll get number 1. And he's got to put way more time in to get number 1, simply because Fergie's got that longevity. But I think he could get as high as 2.
That's why there's a lot of similarities between Wenger and Klopp, innit? Because they both have a philosophy and do things the right way. And even though they did have money, at the same time, they were very much about coaching what they had. Like I think it was a lot easier for Wenger to take a club with no money and coach the players than say a Mourinho, who would be like, I just want a quick fix, just give me some money, I'm going to get rid of him and I'm going to buy him or whatever.
Yeah, as I said, when we do the proper show on the members, I'm gonna get into my Mourinho stuff as well. I mean, I think there's a massive part of me that feels like he's overrated.
You think?
Mm.
I gotta be honest. Peak Mourinho might be the best thing I've ever seen. I just have to be honest.
Is that in terms of the character though, as opposed to just a manager?
Nah, bruv, as in the feeling I got that like I actually felt like he couldn't lose a football match. Like as an opposition fan, I genuinely felt like this man must be a superhero. Like he just wins. Like how do you you can't like somehow he just wins, bruv. It was weird.
Shall I tell you what it is? I think I find it difficult calling him sick because of what he had at Chelsea, but I'll be honest, what he did at Inter, that for me is his most special achievement. The Chelsea stuff, even Porto, like Porto had a sick team.
Yeah, a lot of people forget how good the Porto team was.
And they also had a good run in the Champions League in terms of they also had a good run in the Champions League as well. But what he did what he did it in it for me was
just tell uncles you're going to bed now.
I'm going to bed.
You're going bed?
You're going bed now, yeah?
You're breaking up, Matt, bro.
Yeah.
Are we breaking up?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we are breaking up. Oh, no. Shoot.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, Matt. Matt is off.
I tell you, yeah, that manager conversation, I'm actually looking forward to it. I think that's going to be a sick episode still.
I think there's going to be a couple for that. I think we may have to break down all the managers in a separate episode. To do it in one, I think might be too much.
You're right. I think we're going to have to do a part 1, part 2, and that. Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Sport Guru says, what was the biggest flop signing for Liverpool based on their pre-hype arrival when what they achieved at Liverpool? Morientes, Harry Kewell, Keane, Aquilani, Andy Carroll, Ryan Babel.
I think it's got to be Carroll based on breaking the record, and then I think he only got like 4 goals, I think, or something like that.
I don't think the record was his fault though.
It wasn't.
I don't think there was as much expectation from Andy Carroll as there was like a Morientes or a Kewell.
Yeah. Robbie Keane wasn't a flop at all. I think
that was just,
I think he did amazingly well. He scored 10 goals before Christmas and then just got sold. That was just so weird, that whole Robbie Keane thing. He tried one back flick in the Champions League and then it's like Rafa just went, no, fuck that, get rid of him. I don't know what.
Well, he only did that because he thought he was getting Arshavin, didn't he? And obviously that didn't pan out.
Yeah, but I still don't get why he was willing to shaft Keane for Arshavin anyway. Bro, we should have got Arshavin as well as.
We know this though, Drift, but you know how that thing was going, bro. You know what was going on there.
Yeah, that was Hicks, innit?
Them dickheads, bro.
But there must have been another player in our squad that could have been sacrificed over Robbie Keane, considering we just got Robbie Keane.
I don't know. Well, it's kind
we
of
won the league if we never got rid of Robbie Keane.
Sorry, D-Dub said that Rafa never wanted Keane. So again, was it even a Rafa signing?
But I remember Rafa talking really highly of Keane in an interview I watched, though.
We see managers do that all the time, bro.
I don't know, but Brendan didn't waste any time letting man know he didn't want Balotelli, bro.
Yeah, but he also did hype up other man and then they were gone or didn't play, bro. I think he still wanted those guys. He just realized they weren't good. Bro, he spoke high about Jay Spear. Remember, there was an episode on being Liverpool all about Jay Spear pretty much. Look how he collects the ball. He's got character.
Yeah, but he came through the youth system, innit? That's why.
Sport. So yeah, for me, I hate
I'll
to
say
even call him a
Carroll.
flop.
I'll say Carroll.
For me, I hate to call him a flop because it was the injuries that done him in. But it was Harry Kewell in that context because when he came in, I thought we were going to win the league. I thought
actually, if you're talking about it in that kind of way, then you're right. I thought Kewell was the missing piece to the puzzle, and that was it. We were done now. It was going to be domination time. So yeah, maybe you got a point.
The moment he signed, I thought, yeah, that's it. That's the player we're missing. Martin Carr says Liverpool most important player, VVD or Salah. We spoke about this recently, haven't we?
I think we're in a bit of a disagreement because I go VVD based on him being harder to replace. Although I understand why you lot think Salah because he's been so amazing for us, but you can
Yeah.
replace goals, you can't replace defenders. It's so difficult to find top quality defenders, man.
All right, so I'm going to give my political answer. If you want to win trophies and championships, VVD is more important. If you want to maintain top 4 status and trophies here and there, okay, then Salah's more important. Because as we showed last season, we still got top 4 without VVD and Salah was there. Whereas for me, Salah's there and VVD's not. I don't think we sniffed the league.
What you mean if VV was there but Salah wasn't, you mean?
Sorry, no, vice versa. If Salah was there but VVD wasn't here, I don't think we win the league.
I just think VVD's harder to replace. I think you're seeing a lot of managers struggle to know what to do to find a centre back that can be their Van Dijk. Van Dijk's so good. He's done what Makelele did with that holding position where people are like, we need our VVD. Like that's a thing now. Everybody's like, we need our Van Dijk.
Well, you've seen it.
That's
Ruben
how
Diaz.
good he is, bro.
Ruben Diaz, Varane. Teams are going out trying to get Maguire.
Yeah.
Teams are trying to. Replacing Salah's goals though and his assists.
I think it's easier to replace goals than defenders, though, Cal. I do. I know goals are harder to score, but I think there's more people that are capable of putting it in the back of the net. And I know that might sound like I'm going over the top, and I don't mean it in that way, but I think you could buy Danny Ings and supply him enough that he'd still bang you 15 to 20 goals. And he's not as good as Salah, but you give him service, and I think he still gets 15 to 20 goals. How do you replace Van Dijk? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I think it's...
But when you say this is where it gets really techie though, Drift, because when you say provide, you'd have to then buy a couple more players to supplement Ings, in my opinion, because just what we have now wouldn't be enough to supplement Ings enough to get that.
You change the way you play, Cal. You change the way.
I don't think it'd just be a change of the way we play. I think we'd literally have to get a few different types of players. We'd need an out-and-out creative midfielder. I think we'd need another creative winger to get the best out of Ings. Whereas with Virgil, you kind of have to do this. You could get a very good set. Like, let's say, for example, we went and got, I don't know, I'm thinking of a name. Let's say, for example, it was Varane. He's not as good as Virgil. But you know, if Alisson's there and Fabinho's there, and Trent and Robbo and Matip's next to him, in theory, it's still all right. Not gonna be as solid. Not gonna keep as many clean sheets.
Which one of those players do you think gives the opposition more intimidation? Because I feel like Van Dijk is also that. He gives us that, oh, fuck, kind of feeling.
I think it depends on the position. I think if you're a defender, you look at it and you think, flip me, Salah today, yeah? Because, again, Salah might not be in the game for 80 minutes and then you might just pop up and bang 2. Whereas if you're a striker, you're thinking, yeah, should I have brought my kids to this game? Because my man over there is going to bully me and he's going to outpace me. It's just long, innit? Maybe I should just tell the kids to go home.
Yeah, it is a tough one. You know what we can say to end it? Thank God we got both.
We got both. It is what it is, baby.
That's why we're the envy of everyone in the league.
This is a great quote. Ash says, defense wins titles, attack decide by how many. Decide how many by how many. That's a great quote. That is a great quote. Because even if you look at it so far this season, Liverpool and Chelsea are ahead of the pack. It's so early. And look at the defensive records for both teams. 1 goal conceded in the Premier League only. That is pretty astonishing.
And it was a jammy goal.
You could argue both goals. Like the goal they conceded was a penalty. They've not ever conceded from open play. Well, neither of we. Ours was from a set piece as well.
You know what's magic? I don't even want to sound like a hater because I do get that Chelsea's team are playing well, but I still think it's a bit like there's some overhyping going on with that whole Chelsea's defenders are great. There's a 3 at the back, man. I always feel like that 3 at the back thing covers a lot of players' ass, man. Like when people are talking about Thiago, the man's an amazing footballer over the course of his career. Without a doubt, he's one of my favorite ever players. He's a Brazilian. I love Brazil. But at 36, 37, put him in a back two. He's getting roasted. I'm sorry. He's doing this well because he's in a back three.
I disagree.
Put him in a back two and he's getting roasted, man. I'm sorry. He is. I saw him getting roasted at Paris Saint-Germain towards the end of his PSG career, Cal, because he was starting to like, I think it's easy in a back three to look better. David Luiz looks sensational in a back three. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think the back three really covers defenders' arses a lot. And that's why I look at a back three as a kind of a negative rather than a positive for me.
I think it depends on who you utilize and play there. I get where you're coming from. It's not like what you're saying I think is silly or doesn't make sense. I don't necessarily agree. I think a back three is looked upon as, oh, well, you've got to play a back three because the defenders aren't good enough. I think that is the case with some teams, but I think sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's to do that to get the best out of the rest of your team.
No, that's fair. But like, look at Rudiger. Chelsea wanted him out. Everybody.
No.
Lampard. No.
Lampard wanted him out. There's a big
difference.
No,
not even the fans, Cal. I'll be honest. Chelsea fans didn't give a shit about Rudiger anymore, bro.
Again, no disrespect to Chelsea fans, but Chelsea fans do flip-flop quite a bit.
Fair enough, but he was terrible for about 18 months. Like, they didn't care if he was gone. He weren't going to get no new contract. Put him in the back three, and now he looks like he's a sensational centre-back.
So here's the thing with Rudiger. I think Rudiger's a good centre-back. I think he's very erratic, and I think he's one of those players who relies on aggression. I think he comes up against smart players. I think he will become unstuck. I think he'll get found out pretty quickly. But I don't think he's rubbish.
No, he's not rubbish.
Like, Thiago
didn't care about him anymore.
It's just he's had an amazing career. As I said, I still would have liked Thiago Silva to have come to us on a free. Like, especially last season when we considered the situation we got ourselves into.
No, look, Thiago Silva's a world class. His career is sensational. He's one of the best centre backs that's ever lived. There's no doubt about that. But at his age now, in a back two with like Christensen, just them two in a back two, with Alonso at left back, not wing back, left back. And they're getting roasted, Cal. Like, seriously, like, that back three really does help players look better than they are. Like, can you imagine Alonso at left back, Cal? Not left wing back in a back five, left back in a back four. But he's getting roasted, bro. Do you get what I mean? If I said to you right now, Chelsea are going into a game and their back four is Alonso at left back, Christensen and Thiago, and then Reece James at right back with Kepa in goal. Straight away, you'd go, unless they're playing like Norwich, they're not winning that match. Like, straight away, you'd be like, even with Tuchel and all his defense, you'd be like, nah, no way Chelsea win that game. Do you get what I mean? As soon as you put Reece James at fullback, Alonso at fullback, bring in a back three.
Depends who you're playing in midfield. Because if you go double pivot and you go Kante and someone else, let's say Kante and Kovacic, but they might not even get to the defense, bro.
I still think they would, Cal. That would be better because those two are very good. But I would not. I know no Chelsea fan would ever trust Alonso, Christensen, Thiago, and James in like a Champions League quarterfinal or semi-final or something. They would be like, no, fuck no. What the hell are we doing here? Do you get what I mean? Yeah.
That is very true. I agree with that. I do agree with that. And no, look, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, that's a fantastic question, though, regarding Van Dijk and Salah. But yeah, importance of competitions this season, Drift. Now, again, everyone knows me. I'm greedy, very unrealistic in my expectations when it comes to trophies and stuff. I am. I'm just going to be straight with you. I might as well tell everyone about my frailties as a person before we even get into this. I want to win every single trophy going into every single season. It's just who I am. I know it's not possible, but I want us to at least try. And seasons gone by, I don't think we've tried. Now, I'm going to say something a little controversial. Premier League and Champions League, they stand by themselves. But then you look at the FA Cup and the League Cup, and everyone automatically plays down the League Cup. I'll be honest with you. I think I'd rather win the League Cup this season than the FA Cup.
How come?
Because I think with the League Cup, it starts earlier and it finishes earlier. Towards the end of the season, in my mind, I'd like us to still be in with a shout of the league and the Champions League. Having the FA Cup there puts even more of a strain on the squad because we don't have the numbers. Whereas the League Cup is finished by February.
I see
Also
your
with the league,
logic. Yeah.
also with the League Cup, I feel as though you can play some of the fringe players and young players now and get them fitter and ready for the back end of the season where we'll need to rely on the squad, in my opinion, as well. So there is a little method to my madness, whether people agree or disagree.
No. Now you've just explained it. I fully agree. I actually fully agree. You're right. Get that trophy in the bag. Get something already won by the middle of the season, and then don't worry about the strain the FA Cup puts on you when you've got like FA Cup quarter final, but you've got a Champions League semi final and all that kind of stuff, and it's all like all muddled together kind of thing.
And look, I get it. I know people are going to say, look, the League Cup isn't as prestigious as the FA Cup. Again, agree. But really and truly, what do you get that's different for winning the FA Cup and the League Cup? Both days are at Wembley. Both of them secure you Europa League football. I think the winning money from an FA Cup is slightly higher than the League Cup. I'm just throwing out the question. We say it's more prestigious because it's been around longer, but really and truly, what does it get you right now that the League Cup doesn't get you?
You're right. It doesn't do any. They both get you in the Europa League. FA Cup gets you more money, but it's still so minimum. It's small fry to any team like us, regardless. What is it? Is it 1.5 million for the League Cup and 3 million for the FA Cup, if I'm not mistaken?
No idea. But I don't think it's crazy prize money.
Yeah, it's to teams like us, it's nothing. Like, it's really silly. No, you know, Cal, there is a lot of methods of madness. I'm actually now in full agreement with what you're saying. Still, can't lie. Get the League Cup one, get a trophy in the cabinet.
True, Don. Great point, True Don. FA Cup gives you a shot at the Community Shield. And again, I know people say, I don't care, it's just a glorified friendly. I know, Drift, you're about to say it.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I can't even lie.
I like it. I'm old school. Any trophy I want to win. You know me, I'm old school. You saw how annoyed I was when we lost the Community Shield that time against City. Like, it's just who I am.
No, I get it. But I don't care about it. I can't even lie. Yeah, the Community Shield. I just feel like that's an unnecessary game to play. But yeah, fair dude.
Fair enough. Again, guys, love to hear your thoughts. If you ranked all the trophies, so if I was to ask you to rank them 1 to 4, Drift, where would you put all 4 trophies in terms of most important to least important?
Prem, top, then Champions League, then FA Cup, then League Cup.
See, I'm Prem, Champions League, League Cup, and then FA Cup at the moment. But I
thought you just meant what in terms of how I rate the competition.
No, just your priority.
The importance of what I think Liverpool should do this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would keep the same order. I'd rather win the Prem than the Champions League.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'd love to know from you guys in the comments, because I'm seeing Paps and Gills, for example, say Champions League is top for them. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions, guys. Mr. Dare I Say It, Drift says Klopp has a very identical record to Tuchel since he came to Chelsea, but one's the best in the world, the other's a flavour of the month. The reason I think Klopp has a similar the reason why I think Tuchel has a similar record to Klopp is because Tuchel again had a lot in his squad. Like, I think everyone seems to think Tuchel came in and revolutionized Chelsea. They just had a really, really bad manager before Tuchel came in. Like,
their squad is amazing.
Their squad is very good, and they've made it even better this summer. But last season, their squad was good enough to easily get top 4, and they struggled to it.
Bro, their squad could have won the league. Let's keep it $150. If Werner came in and did what he was meant to do, which is what Lukaku was now brought in for, they could have won the league with a proper manager. All they bought is Lukaku. How can they have not had a good team and now they're favourites with one player? That's all they did, one player.
So this is where I disagree, though, Drift, because you look at the amount of chances they created last season, and Lukaku is a goal machine. His overall play is very average, but as in front of goal, we know what you're getting with Lukaku. Werner, all them, like Jorginho is their top goal scorer. Put that into context. Their holding man was their top goal scorer, and most of his goals, if not all, were penalties.
But wouldn't Werner have done that if he'd have continued his Bundesliga form, though, Cal? Because remember, Werner was a 20-goal a season man in Bundesliga. So if he'd have just done what he was meant to do, Chelsea, what I'm saying is, right now, Werner's on the bench, Lukaku's playing, right? So for me, if Werner had done what he was supposed to do, they are still title contenders without Lukaku because Werner gets to 20, 30 goals in a season. Do you get what I mean?
Agreed.
So really and truthfully, they were good enough to win the league last year. They just had, like you said, Lampard wasn't a good enough manager.
Yeah. Agreed. Matt, good to have you back, bro.
Yeah, bro, I'm not
Virgin
gonna lie. Nah, Virgin, they're getting dealt with tomorrow. They're getting dealt with. This is it. Now.
You're on 4G, innit?
Yeah, I'm on 4G, bro.
Yeah, I could tell. And it's way better as well. That's the thing that's funny, bro.
So, Matt, just speaking about the importance of the trophy, so quickly want to get your thoughts before we move on to the last topic. In terms of, so you probably didn't hear the whole speech I gave, so I want to hear it.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Cool,
I was on the phone cussing out Virgin.
Better.
Yeah.
All right. Rank all the trophies that we're involved in from most important from a Liverpool perspective to the least important in your opinion.
So while Matt's thinking, can I just quickly ask the people a question? For everyone who's putting the Champions League over the Premier League, is it the euphoria you get on that one special day that makes you feel like that? Or do you just in general? Because I always get a bit confused with why people put Champions League over the Premier League. And I always think, is it just that one magical moment that you get where all your anxiety, anticipation builds up? And then you get that release in that one moment that feels better than anything you've ever felt. Whereas in the Premier League, every week builds and builds and builds and builds. And you kind of know sometimes whether you've won it before you've even won it. You know what I mean? Especially like when we did it, we knew we'd won the league and there was like 10 games left and stuff. So like, is it that euphoria you get in that moment that makes people put the Champions League over the league? Because as I said, for me, I think winning the Premier League, the bread and butter for me is the better achievement. I don't know. I just thought I'd just ask.
We'll leave that.
All right,
That's a great question, Drew.
All right, so here's my one. So in terms of importance, for me, just my opinion, yeah?
No, importance for Liverpool.
For Liverpool.
Yeah.
For Liverpool, I think it goes, not us the fans, as the club. Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup. The reason why I'm putting Champions League ahead as to why Liverpool perceive the Champions League as more important is because of that whole Champions League. Let's say, for example, you had a bad Premier League season. Liverpool are still able to compete in the Champions League and they don't lose things like merchandising, advertising. It's all about money. Because I kind of feel like if us as fans, I think we're going to put Premier League because we want to smash Man United's titles. Like, we want to beat that. Yeah. We've won the Premier League many times in our lifetime to the point where we know how... Sorry, Champions League. We know how that feels. I know how it feels. Of course, I want to win every single trophy, but I love the Champions League. Don't get me wrong. I think the prestige is absolutely elite, but I also want to see us not be one of those teams where we can only win the Premier League every now and again. I want us to do the Premier League like regular. Like Jeff was saying about Man City, I want to see that regular. But I think Liverpool would look at it and goes, well, if we can win the Champions League, you know what I'm saying? It brings in all the money and the prestige. It's the global thing. I think Liverpool would rather do that than win the Premier League if they had to pick two.
Shout out to Ludwig, just becoming a member. Much appreciated, Ludwig. Hope you enjoy the members exclusives you're about to get. And if you're not a member, then guys, I'd recommend signing up. Super King says, until we're back on our perch, Premier League over Champions League for me. Facts. That's what it is for me. I want number 21 before.
Yeah, I want Prem.
Club.
I want
number 21 before any other club.
I want Prem.
All right. So we're about to end the show, but there's one topic we have to speak about. Mr. Mane, 100 goals up. What's his top 5 goals at Liverpool?
Ooh.
All right, well, straight off the bat, I don't know if you lot agree or disagree, but straight off the bat, his goal against Bayern Munich in the Champions League is his best goal.
Ooh. I don't know. Arsenal debut.
That's his second.
I've got another one for you. It was in the 18-19 season, I believe. We was away, so the ball got played out. Mane chested it, turned on a half swivel, volleyed it, I think, or half volley into the top corner
against Burnley. It wasn't on the chest.
It might have been. It might have been.
The pass came in from Ox from the right hand side, and he turned on the edge.
Yeah, from the right. You sure he didn't check? He didn't chest it.
No, I didn't.
He swiveled. I remember he swiveled.
Yeah, he swiveled.
Okay, swiveled. Okay. Another one.
He chipped the keeper with a back heel against Watford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Foster.
No backlift, weak foot, top corner against City from the edge of the box.
Yeah, I was going to say the Man City one, 17-18 again, left foot.
Bicycle kick against... Was it Hoffenheim?
I think it... Do you know, I still think... You see,
do you remember that Champions League goal when he scored that scissor kick?
It's sort of scissor kick? Oh, yes, that was against...
was it Hoffenheim?
Oh.
No, was it Maribor?
No,
I
really think
it was someone I know you talk about because it came as a Milner cross and we won that game 7-0, I think.
Yeah, I think it was was it not Hoffenheim?
Spartak Moscow. People in the
was it Moscow?
Okay. Yes.
Sorry, Ash said header away at Villa 93rd minute, flims everywhere.
Beautiful. He took a boot in the face. That
was a clutch. You wouldn't say that was his top 5. That was a clutch.
Yeah. That was a clutch. That was his top 5.
I think the goal.
What about that goal against Arsenal?
Which one?
The first one.
The one where No, the one where we did a counter attack and he did the little one leg shimmy and he came inside and he just bent it around the goalkeeper.
17-18.
No, that was 16-17. I
think 17-18.
Or what about the goal against Everton? What about the goal against Everton last season?
He's done this.
Remember when he duppied someone on the edge of our box, counter attack, played it to Trent. Trent was on the left instead of the right. Him and Robbo was switched. He made the run. Think he cut it back to him, and with his left foot, he bent it in the bottom corner.
Up in Wobie. We were at your house for that drift, remember?
Yeah.
There was another Everton goal when we beat them 3-1 16-17 season when he got the ball from the right-hand side, ran all the way to the left and scored with his left foot.
I remember that one as well. Mane's got a great catalogue.
Scouse Drift says, Prem, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, the Red Men spent no money but will still win the league. That will be our song for the season still. Liam Kenny says, Mane's goal against Bayern was pure porn. It was. I hope we don't get demonetized for me just saying that, actually. But hopefully we'll be right.
You should have just said.
Yeah.
We
should be all right.
Do you know the reason? No, go on, Cal.
So, Mr. Dare I say, it just says Arsenal's so bad that in Europe's top 50 most valuable teams, they're the only club that have a value lower than what they bought their players for.
Bloody hell.
Oh no.
Do you know, I never ever want to seem like I'm just being disrespectful for no reason, but there's a serious argument that has to be had for how big of a club truly can you be if you've never won a major European trophy. I'm sorry, that is a conversation you have to have. How can you call yourself a big club? And I know they got the fan base and that, don't get me wrong, and they do have history, but you've never won a major European trophy. That's a serious conversation that has to be had. I'm sorry, it does.
Yeah, it is.
It does. It's almost like, because I'm watching The Last Dance right now. Wonderful docu-series or whatever you call it. Matt, you must have been in your element watching this because I'm not even a basketball man. And I'm finding this series sensational.
Bro,
but you know the moment before MJ got his first title when he said, even though he was head and shoulders the best player in the league, without that trophy, he couldn't talk to them, man. He couldn't talk to a Barkley. He couldn't sit at the table.
Show it. Yes, I'm saying you need to kind of have that thing where you can go, here's the ring now. Man's arrived now. Where it's like, and that's
Arsenal, isn't it? Is that not Arsenal? No matter how good or big they think they are, don't you need that European trophy to really say, well, we can sit at this table now? Do you get what I mean? Like, even Chelsea have two of them.
But then couldn't the argument be leveled at Gerrard? People say that Gerrard can't really be in that conversation and with Prem greats because he never won a Prem trophy.
No, because I think an individual talent isn't based on trophies, but I think a team and how you're looked at as an actual club I think trophies is all it's
That's-
based
yeah,
on.
fair
If
enough.
I'm being
That's
honest
Yeah,
with you,
yeah,
do you get
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
As a club, you are. You're judging.
yeah,
on
as a
trophies,
club, that's all it's based on.
not
I
an
get the
individual,
logic,
so to
Cal, but I
speak.
think it's very unfair to
No, that's very
have
true.
an individual, because if the club fuck up, that's not his fault. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they need that moment. They need that ring moment.
I agree. Shout out to Jamie Phillips. Anyone who knows this channel knows Jamie Phillips. Got his own YouTube channel, so make sure you go subscribe to that after this show as well. I'll definitely be doing that. Jerry, I can't wait to hear some of those Jamie stories. And make sure the wife don't beat you up on camera as well, bro.
In it, some of them stuff that Jamie says is kind of mad still.
But look,
so what are we going on then? Because I'm gonna go to Bayern Munich game based on technique.
So his best goal, you're going Bayern Munich, Drift. Matt, what are you saying?
Awareness.
Hold on, wait. Before you give your answer, I'm gonna write my answer down, and then to make sure I'm not just saying it.
So while Matt's thinking, I'm just gonna lord over that goal. The technique to bring the ball down from that distance with a wonderful pass from Virgil, by the way. The awareness to know the goalkeeper is coming out, to have the skill and the awareness to do the skill to get past the goalkeeper, and then the cheekiness of dinking it over the defender trying to get back on the line with his weak foot. That goal was absolutely different gravy.
I've got mine. For me, it's the Arsenal, his debut. I don't think don't get me wrong, that Bayern is the Arsenal. That Bayern goal was absolutely disgusting, but let me remind you, the ball gets played, and by the way, it's not a loose ball, but they just said, go catch it. Like, he was just like, okay, but caught up with the ball. My man's running, but he runs in between two defenders, cuts inside, little shimmy across onto the weaker foot, top bins against Czech as well. So you could say the defenders that he was up against were a little bit suspect, but the goalkeeper wasn't, because Czech is the top goalkeeper. And to smash that with your weaker foot on your debut, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it actually might be the best debut goal in Liverpool's history. Bruv, it's stupid.
And then the piggyback to finish it off.
Bruv, even Klopp was like this.
Do you know what? Yeah,
Klopp does that.
Klopp admitted afterwards that that's the most he ever let himself get involved, and even he knows it was unprofessional.
Bruv, that goal was just... He had no right to score that, you know.
Bruv,
no right.
That Arsenal goal right there, that's number one for me. The Bayern one is second, no, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Bayern is second, easy. And then I think...
The Burnley one's third for me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, the swivel.
Cold. And do you know why that goal, I love that goal so much? Because he was in really bad form up until that goal. And it turned everything around for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A special play for that goal. And we won that game.
Do you know why? I was in bad form? Because I think he was on the left and he was finding it a little bit hard to adapt, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that the 17-18? Bad decisions. Yeah. Remember when he went through on goal and he could have played it to 3 other men against Everton? He was just in a really bad patch of form at that point. When he got that goal, that changed everything.
I still think the back heel chip is underrated still.
No, it is.
To chip a goalkeeper with a back heel.
So I tell you what's underrated. The goal against Man City. Bruv, he actually stopped the ball.
Oh, yeah. And
just went, bruv, with his weaker foot. How many players in world football would just stop it and go, have some of this? Just tick that. Man just said, tick that.
All right, shout out to Andra. The goal against Southampton, 1920 season. One of the first games of the season.
When he came inside and packed it top corner.
Oh, God.
That goal was disgusting.
Oh, gosh.
That goal was disgusting. Do you know what else has got a sick cat? Actually, no, I don't play for us, so I can't even talk about it.
I'm not even going to lie. Do you know what would be really cool to actually watch and actually do like a comparison on? Who's got the sicker catalogue? Even though Salah's got more out of Firmino, Mane and Salah, and see who's got actually the better catalogue of goals.
So I'm not going to lie.
Salah. You think so?
Yeah.
No, I think
there's a part of me that feels like it might be Bobby that would win for actual catalogue, you know?
Salah's I think we sleep on him because of the quantity of goals. Salah's catalogue is mad.
No, Salah's catalogue is naughty, don't get me wrong, but Firmino's catalogue is
Salah's
different.
quality, Salah's catalogue just from 17-18 is mad, bro.
Alone.
So if I said to you, we've got to go through all the goals and we've got to do a top 20 for all three of them, do you not think Salah's top 20 will be the better top 20? Yeah.
Oh, it might be because he's variety. Just some quick ones.
Yeah.
Drift, the Tottenham one. Wait. Remember
That was
17
dumb. That was dumb.
fake.
And
Bro,
then
do
the
you
Everton,
remember?
he did kind of the same thing against Everton the same
Roma,
season.
Watford.
Watford, he sat down 3 man
Yeah.
in the snow.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Bro,
Salah's
you know what else
different.
sleeping on? Remember the right foot finish in the Champions League from that stupidly acute angle?
Yeah.
Bro, Salah, the goal against Man City. But Salah's got too many goals, you know.
Yeah, he loved Ali as well against Roma.
But
Yeah?
the volley against Leeds at the beginning of last season. Do you remember
my
that?
Days.
Yeah.
Bruv, the catalogue Salah's got is mad.
You know what though? We went through
Chelsea, you man.
We were there.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Hey, yeah, maybe Mo wins it still.
Salah moving mad.
But you know, I think if we went through all of their goals, I think we'll be surprised at how Bobby would be able to talk.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I just think Salah cleans up.
I think a lot of people sleep on how good Firmino's goal catalogue is, you know.
I think
No,
Bobby
it's
may
good.
come
He
second.
sat down all them Arsenal, man.
Yeah, I think Bobby comes
No,
second, but I think
100,
Salah comes
100.
top.
Do you know what? I don't. If I'm being completely honest
I
with
think
you, I
Mane
don't
might come
actually
second
know. I don't
still.
actually know who wins and who. Because I'm not. Because even some of the Mane goals that, like, I'll be honest with you, I don't think Salah can score those goals Mane scored. You see the 2 goals we've said, what are the better ones? I don't think Salah or Bobby can score that goal. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's hard to actually. It's hard. It's a very difficult.
Do you know another one? I just remembered. Remember the counter attack? I think it might have been not. Remember the goal? Was it West Ham where Mane dinks it and Salah smashes it on a volley into the far corner?
Yeah,
I think it was. Was it West Ham?
No,
17-18 Orange
Do
Key.
you know what Salah goal
my-
I've just remembered? That
Bro.
pinpoint cross from Shaq against West Ham last season, 1 touch and finish. Do you remember that goal Salah scored last season?
But the first goal in that game was mad as well, bro.
Oh my
The
days!
first goal in
Shaq,
that game
I'm gonna
was
be
mad.
real. Even though Salah's goal was absolutely amazing, people are sleeping on that pass from Shaq, bro.
Yeah, it was
bro.
pinpoint. It was
The
pinpoint.
pass from Shaq
pinpoint.
was sensational, bro.
Guy Fawkes
Crazy.
says rightful goal from the stupid angle. That was Champions
Yeah.
League. That was Salzburg.
I think it'll be very, very. You know, I'm actually going to do it for my own self-satisfaction after this. I'm going to go through all of their top goals and I'm going to figure out who I actually think's got the
I'm
better
down
top
for that.
20.
I think we should do that for a little members team. Still, you know. I'm gonna see if we can bring up some footage about getting
I
copyright.
definitely think
We will
people
be
are
able
sleeping on Firmino though.
Yeah.
Some of his goals, like that goal against Leicester when he put in the top corner in the 4-0, like people are sleeping on, like he went into bullet time. It might not look as great as you think, but when you actually watch the goal, you're like,
Bro,
that was just disgusting.
Bobby Firmino, 16-17 season, black, against Stoke, black kit,
Oh,
all
yeah.
over
The
the
volley.
top.
Back the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Light work.
I'm telling you.
Jamrock said, couldn't new players have got injured as well? Very true, but if the new players got injured, we'd still have the old players. Whereas now the old players getting injured, so we have no one.
It's true.
But yeah,
it's true,
but
it's
yeah,
true.
injuries can happen to anyone. Injuries can happen to anyone. A couple more super chats before we sign off. Bear me just a moment.
Bobby's actually got half of a catalogue against Arsenal himself.
I was gonna bring this person up, but he don't play for us no more. Coutinho.
Coutinho's catalogue's disgusting.
His catalogue is nuts.
Mr.
Them
Dale
long
said-
ranges.
Yeah, it's crazy. Bobby versus Arsenal. Comment if Bobby's the B, if it's the Bobby Firmino show 15-16. Look, against Arsenal, he victimizes them, innit? That's just his thing.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
victimizes Arsenal.
No look. Remember the no look? He was the no look master, you know. Man,
Yeah, he
never
was.
forgetting that Bobby was the no look master, bro.
Of
No,
course,
he was.
bro.
He sat
never
all them
forget.
Arsenal man down.
Bro,
That goal was
Bobby's
so
different.
good.
When he's on his day, Bobby's unplayable. It's as simple. When he's
That
on his
goal was
form,
so
on
good.
form, bro, different.
1-2 with the post against Atletico
He
Madrid.
didn't mean to do it, Drift.
Bruv, of course
I'm
he
his biggest
did, bro.
fan, and even I know he didn't need to
Bro,
do
He
I've
didn't mean to
watched
do
that
that.
goal so many times. He meant to do the 1-2
He
with the
didn't
post.
mean to
There's
do
no
that.
way
No
your
way.
reaction time is that quick if you weren't expecting it. He did it on purpose, you man.
No, but he was very reactive. He could do
Yeah,
things
it
like that.
was,
though.
yeah.
He knew what he was doing. You like he played the 1-2 with the post. I'm telling you.
Something else, Drift.
Massive 1-2 with the post, you know, some Jogger Benito
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I tell you what would be good, guys. So a
Go
top 5 assists out of the 3 of them. To see which one of them 3's got.
Assist is Bobby.
Probably Bobby because he's got so much variety.
I'm not even being real. I'm sorry, it's not even close. I can name you
He's
3 off
right.
the bat.
On my days, I just thought of the Bobby one with the one again. Is it Bournemouth?
Newcastle.
There's too many. Bobby's not. Bob, don't
Leicester
even think
City
about it.
last season where he did the 360 into Salah. Yeah. And then
Do you remember when he did the back heel flick chip through ball to Salah?
Southampton.
Yep. But we
Even Henry wet himself over that.
No one's touching Bobby when it comes to
no one
assists.
can touch Bobby.
Yeah.
When it comes to flaring,
that is easy
that's
work
a no
for Bobby
contest.
still.
Yeah, that's a no contest for real. Because I was just thinking in my head, I was thinking Salah's outside of the boot to Mane, same game Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful assist.
Yeah,
Mane's left foot assist for Origi when he went round the goalie in the derby against Everton. That was a beautiful.
I think Mane might actually come third in that.
Possibly. He's got some beautiful assists, but maybe Salah's got more array of assists. Maybe
more variety, I think. Salah's got more variety.
But yeah, Bobby is undoubtedly the king of the assists.
Bobby's the king of assists.
When it comes to the assisting out of every, he's clear.
But he's different, bro. He's different.
Yeah. Firmino's on one. He's on one.
It's different. But people, if you haven't visited our merch store, make sure you do that now. We've got some new stuff coming in the next few weeks as well, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. In terms of the rest of the week, tomorrow evening we'll be doing a watch along for Norwich versus Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, and then going straight live after that game as well. Thursday we've got our Twitch show. Friday we've got another show, the Rival Watch and Kopish calling, where you guys get to call in and speak to us as always. Saturday we've got Brentford, and we'll be covering that game as well. So once again, people, you've got a full week. We'll be releasing a members video this week as well.
We'll be squeezing a preview in for the Brentford game as well, bro. Remember?
You're damn right, Drew.
Yes, preview for Brentford as well.
We did forget. My bad.
One out for tomorrow. There's one out now for Norwich. The Norwich one's out now.
One's out now as well. So you haven't watched that, make sure you watch that as well before the game tomorrow. As we chops it up and we decide, we guessed who may or may not play. But I'll be honest with you, I'm looking forward to that Norwich game tomorrow. If you want to become a member, all you have to do is click the link in the YouTube description and you can just follow the details and go from there. Merch store, if you want the link to that, it's in the YouTube description as well, or you just click on one of the things that we're selling in the shop as well.
And Cal's t-shirt, that beautiful t-shirt, is actually going to be out of sale very soon, guys. So if you want to get that Allison t-shirt, grab it now. It will not
gonna lie. When I come down to
longer.
stream, like the miss was like, "Oh, that's a nice t-shirt." I was like, "Oh wait, you are next picnic, yeah? All right." Take time, baby. Take time.
I'm not even gonna lie.
You're
I'm not even just
that
saying
can do both. I get it.
I'm not even just saying it because it's ours. The quality of that t-shirt is phenomenal. It is.
Indeed.
You'd think it was Armani.
I've never owned Armani, so I don't know.
Yes. My GoFundMe page will be after on the show. Prayers up, man. I need my internet, but
I'm not even gonna lie to you, G. Considering you've got something like 200 gig of data, you should just run the 4G. You're fine now, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
you're
but
actually completely fine. I know you miss your mic, but don't rub it in. I'm on that mic as well. We're a level playing field now.
Bro. But I need my laptop, man. I need my laptop, bro.
You lot, right? You lot are making me that. I know it's a lighting thing. I don't know, but you lot are making me the Firmino with a free. You lot are Mane and Salah, and I'm the Bobby right now.
What's that meant to mean?
Because you lot have got the proper mics. You lot are like, you know what I mean? You're doing, and I don't, you know what I mean?
But we've had a good show, Drift. Don't ruin it, bro. Go on there. What's going on there?
Bro.
Did you not write something in a private chat that you're going to start fighting me? What's going on?
No, the quality is good, but it's not as good, isn't it? I didn't mean no shade.
Drifty just gave me the dirty low blow, you know.
Need
Hey,
me
someone,
mic back, you know.
someone just said, "No, just Origi." I would never take that to offense. Divock, I'll be Divock. You know what I'm saying? I'll do that.
Divock
Half volleys in
Origi.
the Champions League final, and now who's gonna ever say no to that?
Said half volley. You're gonna take that to the grave with you, innit?
Man said half volley, you know.
He's just a
Half
Champions League
volley.
guy, innit? Man brought him in for the AC Milan game. Man's doing flipping chip through ball flicks and all. He's just a Champions League brother, innit? I told Arsenal they should have got him. They need some European quality.
But I'd be good for that. I'd be good if he takes us to the Champions League again, boy.
Trust me. Be a hero again, Divock, man. Trust me.
Facts.
Unsung hero, man.
What are we saying?
No.
4 goals for Divock in this season's campaign.
I'll take that.
Yeah? If it means getting to a final again, 100%, bro.
I'll take that.
Clutch goals, innit? Clutch.
But people, that is us for tonight. As always, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Costs you nothing to do it. Helps the channel to grow. Please smash that like button, people. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Look, I've got statistics from behind the scenes. 38% of people who watch our shows aren't even subscribed. You're regulars. I will start.
What are
calling
you
out
doing?
names. I'll start calling out names if I
Come on, guys.
Name-
Come
Come
on,
on.
guys. Come
Start
on.
name dropping.
Come on,
guys.
Come on. Just hit
Just
the
hit that
button.
subscribe button. Hit that like button. That's all you
If
got
you
to
watch
do,
us
man.
regularly, you must think that we're doing something right. You don't,
By
we
now,
don't
innit?
lose that. We don't lose that often for you just to watch us to banter. So you must be watching,
For real.
like you must be
For
watching
real.
us
Tell
for
'em
some
again, man.
reason. So just smash the like button, subscribe.
Just hit
if
the
you're new to
like
channel.
button. Just
Touch a
subscribe
button
to
now.
be nice.
Oh.
Come on, guys. We need more
Oh.
niceness in the world.
Oh, just do it, people. Just do it. But no, we'll be back tomorrow. So make sure you check the socials. We'll definitely be back tomorrow evening. And until tomorrow, people, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you all so much for watching. We are Kopish and we are out, people. Take care.
Peace.
Go fund me.